All right, we're going to get started. Shalom, Israel. Yah Bashim Yahshai Barakatham. Yahweh Shemar Latham Bashim Yahushai. Priest Officer Parag holding down the weekly Sabbath service for the ISUPK out of Arizona. All right. If you're watching online, at the very bottom of the screen, you can see our class location and our class hours. All right. We're here Tuesday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And also every Saturday for our Sabbath service from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. All right, today what we're going to go over will be in Joshua, the 24th chapter. All right, and we'll be basically just kind of like a call to remembrance. That's what the title of today's class is, right? A call to remembrance, because in this chapter, we're going to see all of the brothers, in the time of Joshua, presenting themselves before the Most High. They're going to present themselves before the Most High, and the Most High is going to go over some things with them and explain to them, or rather, have them call to remembrance of things that He's done for us in the past. He's going to bring up what happened in Numbers, the 22nd chapter. He's going to bring up what happened with Moses. He's going to bring up what happened in the time of, in the time of Egypt, right? He's going to explain to the children of Israel, I've done all of these things for you. Now it's time for you to do something for me, right? And that's what that's the spirit of this class, the spirit of the whole Bible, really, right? But the spirit of today's class is the fact that the Most High has done all of these things for us, and we're going to read about them. It's time for us to do something for the Most High. It's time for us to serve Him. He served us plenty. You get what I'm saying? He served us, well over, right? It's time for us to do something for Him. It's time for us to keep His laws, His statutes, His commandments. Right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start. Just me up here. Imagine which means to stand. All right. Everybody else, imagine which means to stand. Wapanyag with dumb. Face the east. We're gonna read these prayers, beginning with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malak with Ka. Lava'ah. Ratazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Barataza. Kawa. Hayah. Washamayim. Nathanaw. Nakam. Call your one. Wasalakanaw. Kawabwathanaw. Kasalaknaw. Kawabwathanaw. Wala'ah. Tabayanaw. Manasai one. Abal. Hawashanaw. Mayan. Rakaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Waha'ala. Wathapara. Laiwalami. Aman. In the English, our Father. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, that will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. The power, in the Hebrew, Yahweh. Vashem Yahushai, Babu Kushah, Nathalanaw, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kalmaka'ala, Wakalmadawa, Hakak Latahar, Hamatazarayu, Hakak, Lakwayam, Hamathium, Hakak, Awakawa, Hatama'ala, Lagashan, Vashem Yahushai, Duwadaman. In the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh
In
Shai.
the name of Yahweh Shai.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahaya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Waratazah, Ayathan, Lamawat, Wagalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shalmar, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yah, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Al-Shamash, La'ah, Yakaka, it's like La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayallah, Yahweh, Yashamarka, it's like Makalrak, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabah, Wa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Awalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasharallah
he that keepeth Yahweh
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall not slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil,
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
and he shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in,
from this time forth
this time forth,
and even forever.
forevermore.
Psalms the 83rd chapter in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Allahai,
Aldama Yalaka,
Adam Yalaka,
Al Thakaraj,
Al-Thakarah,
Al Thashakwa,
Al-Tashqua,
All,
Al,
Kayahana,
Kayana,
Awayabika,
Awayab,
Yahamaya 1,
Yahama Yawan,
Ra'ash,
Sha'at,
Al Imaka,
Am,
Ya'ara Yamwa,
Ya'ar,
Sawada,
Sawda,
Wayatha,
Wetha,
Ya'itazawa,
Yaitza,
Al Tazapa Wanyaka,
Wanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magali,
Wala'a,
Wala,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashrala,
Yashral,
Awada,
Awada,
Kayat,
Ayat,
Nawa'izawa, Nawa'izawa,
Nawaitza,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Alyaka,
Ali,
Baryat,
Baryat,
Yakarathwa,
Karatwa,
Ahalya,
Ahali,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashamai Alayam,
Wayashama Ali,
Mawa'aba,
Mawab,
Wahagarya,
Wagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawan,
Waimawan,
Waimalak,
Wala,
Palasha,
Palasha,
I'm Yeshabia,
Amishabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Gamashabor,
Dalawa,
Halawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarwat,
Zarwa,
Labanya Lawat,
Labani Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Ashalaham,
Aisha Laham,
Kamadya,
Kamadi,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'a,
Zara'a,
Kayabya,
Kayabya,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Kwayashwan,
Kwayash,
Nashamagwa,
Shamad,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adama,
Adam,
Shayathamwa,
Shayatam,
Nada,
Nada,
Yabmawa,
Yamawa,
Kaira,
Kaira,
Kaza'aba,
Kazab,
Wakazabak,
Kazabak,
Wakatazal,
Kazab,
Mana'ai,
Manai,
Call,
Kal,
Nasaya,
Nasaya,
Kamwa,
Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Mar,
Nerasha,
Narisha,
Lanawa, Az, Na'awat, Alahayim, Sayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Thaba'ira Ya'ira, Wakala Haba, Talahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadapma, Basa'iraka, Wabasa, Wapatka, Shalom. Tabalam, Mala'ah, Panyaha,
Panyaham,
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 Palawan,
Palawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Bakwashwa,
Makashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Bashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahawa,
Ayai,
Ai,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Parwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Badwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Da'aiwa,
Da'aiwa,
Kayatha,
Wayata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Al-Yawan,
Ayawan,
Al-Kal,
Al-Kal,
Al-Rakazah.
Al-Rakazah.
Psalms 83rd chapter in English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace,
and be not still, O Yahweh.
and be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thy enemies make tumult,
and they that hate thee have lifted up their
and
head.
they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden
and
ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Yasharallah
That the name of Yahweh
may be no more remembered.
be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate.
The tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
the Hagarenes,
Gebal,
Gebal,
and Ammon,
Ammon,
and Amalek,
Amalek,
the Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
So also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
as to Sisera,
As to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kison,
which perished that endured.
which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make the nobles like a rib,
Make the nobles like a red,
and like Zeeb.
and like the head.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Abba,
all the princes as Sabbath,
and as Amunah,
and as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to ourselves
the houses of Yahweh
the houses of Yahweh
in possession.
in possession.
O my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stumble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill his faces with shame,
that they may see thy name,
that they may see thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh,
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish.
and men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
are the most high over all the earth.
the most high over all the earth.
I will read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barak Yahweh,
Barak atah Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Alahayim,
wa Alahayim,
Wa Tazab Ya'ah,
wa Tazab Ya'ah,
Allah Yahana,
Alawak Yahana,
Ha-Alawapim,
Alawak,
Ha-Saranyim,
Asarani,
Ha-Kwatazayanyim,
Akwatazayani,
Ha-Kaya Yoyim,
Akayayani,
Wa-Ha-Slaki, Wa-Ha-Gwathim,
wa Akwati,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba-Hashem Yahweh Shai,
Hashem Yahweh Shai,
the Wadamar,
the water.
in the English. Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General Yahana,
commanding General Yahana,
the generals,
the generals,
the captains,
the captains,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters.
Yahweh, in
Yahweh,
the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you so be it.
thank you, so be it.
All right, sorry while you're shopping, we can be seated. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to read the 24th chapter of Joshua. All right. Beginning with the first 7 verses, and we'll read those in Hebrew first. All right. All right, verse 1. Wa Ya'asap, Yahatslag Yahweh Shai, Ath, Kal, Shabbatya, Yasha'ala, Shakama, Wayakora, Lazaquanya, Yasha'ala, Walara Ashan Yawa, Walasha Patya Wa, Walashatar Yawa, Wayatha, Yatazabwa, Lapanya, Ha'alahayim, verse 2. Wayamar, Yahweh Shai, Al, Kal, Ha'aim, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Alahaya, Yasha'ala, it's like it, Ba'aibar, Hanahar, Yeshabwa, Abawathikam, Ma'aiwalam, Tharak, Abiyah, it's like it, Abayah, Abaraham, Wa'abayah, Nakawar, Waya Adbadwa, Alahayim, Akaryum, verse 3, Wa'akwa, Ath, Abayakam, Ath, Abaraham, Ibar, Hanahar, Wa'awalka, Awathwa, Bakal, Aratazar, Bana'ain, what? It's like what Arabah, Ath is a Raiwa, what Ath, it's like what Thun, Lawa, Ath, Yatazak, Yatazak, it's like it. Yatazakak, verse 4, what Thun, Layatazakak, Ath, Yaquab, what Ath, Aishawa, what Athun, La'aishawa, Ath, Hara, Shayar, La Rashath, Awathwa, wa Yaquab, wa Banyawa, Yaradwa, Matazarium, verse 5, it's like wa Ashalak, Ath, Masha, wa Ath, Aran, wa Agap, Ath, Matazarium, Kaashar, Aishayatha, Bakwar, it's like a Bakwarabwa, wa Akar, Haratazah, Athaya, Athkam, verse 6, wa Awatazah, Ya'ar, Ath, Abawathikam, Ma Matazarium, Wathaba wa Hayama, Wayaradapwa, Matazarium, it's like Akarya, Abawathikam, Barakab, Wabab Parashim, Yama, Sawak, verse 7, Wayataza I, Kwawa, Al, Yahweh, Wayasham, Ma'apal, Bayan, Yakam, Wabayan, Hamatazarium, Wayaba, Ayawa, Af, Hayam, Kasawa, Wathara, Ayana, Ayan Yakam, Ath Ashar, Ashayatha, Bamatazarium. All right. I'll select it. Still a little bit more on that. Select it. Wathashabwa, Bamadabar, Yamayum, Rab Yum. All right. So that was verses 1 through 7. Read those in English. Break it down.
What scripture was it? I didn't hear.
Oh, it's Joshua, the 24th chapter. Yep. So Joshua 24, we're going to start at verse 1.
Book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 1. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel and Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, for their judges, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God.
So now Joshua called all of the elders, all of the mighty men of Israel, and as well as the officers, the men of war, right? Which was most of the men, right? If you were able, most of the men from age 20 on up, they would be, they would be in battle, right? They would be in the army of Israel, right? And so they all presented themselves before the Most High, right? Keep going.
And Joshua said unto the people, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachar. And they served other gods.
So they served other gods, right? This is before the flood. This is what it's talking about. Give me Genesis, the 11th chapter. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to examine what the Most High is speaking about. The Most High is telling the children of Israel to call to remembrance things of time past, right?
You said 21, first one?
I'm sorry?
You said Joshua 21, first one?
No, 24. Yeah, Joshua 24. Right. So now he's gonna. So basically, what he just did, right? He called to remembrance. Salakia. He called to remembrance what our forefathers was doing, right? Before the flood, a long time ago, right? He said, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah, which is the father of Abraham and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods, right? The fathers of Abraham served Canaanite gods and all other types of gods. They didn't know who the Most High was. It's not like today in America, right? So like in America, we have all across the entire earth, we have a Bible, right? The Bible is readily available. The King James Bible is readily available to anybody that wants it, right? And now because of the internet and things of that nature, right, the ISUPK has been able to push the truth. You know what I'm saying? And since 1969, we've been doing that. We've been pushing the truth out to the four corners of the earth to save the children of Israel, to give them the doctrine of the Lord, right? But it wasn't always like that, right? Because in the time of Abraham and in the time of his father, right, not everybody knew who the Most High was, and a lot of them didn't have to. They was Canaanites. A lot of the people that there was around was Canaanites and other Hamite nations, Hittites and all these other Hamite nations, right? But the Most High spoke to Abraham and chose Abraham and his seed, right? But we're gonna read about it. Let me shut the hell up. Let's let the scripture speak, right? So Genesis, the 11th chapter, verse 26. We'll start at
Genesis. Like 29.
Genesis 11 and 26.
Book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 26. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abraham, Noah, and Haran.
So now this is what the Most High just said in Joshua 24, right? Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in the old time, even Terah. This is who this Terah is, right? Who was the father of Abraham, right? Give me verse 29.
Verse 29. And Abraham and Noah took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarai, and the name of Naor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah.
Right, give me verse 31. So I'm just trying to give you all a little bit of context, right, so we can understand what's being said here.
31.
Yeah, now give me 31.
31. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there.
So now I want everybody to understand this, right? So Terah took Abram, which is his son, and his son's wife, his daughter-in-law, whatever you want to call it, right? And they went into the land of Canaan. That's where they went, right? And that's actually where you'll get a lot of nutbags talking about how they'll say that Abraham is a Canaanite. They said it could never be true because he had to travel to Canaan, so he's not even a native of the land of Canaan, right? So just a side note there, I want everybody to make sure that's known, right? So they went to the land of the Canaanites, right? And we just saw how the Most High told us that they served other gods, and a lot of the gods that they were serving was those Canaanite gods. And this, we got to remember, this is before you know, the written law, right? That you find first written in like the book of Exodus, right? Because in the book of Exodus, book of Numbers, book of Deuteronomy specifically talks about how we're going to go into these other lands because we're going to possess them, but we can't take hold of any of their gods. And the reason why the Most High had to say that is because we're stupid. And what we do is if we go into another land, we just follow the God of that land. Whatever God is there, we follow. right? When we was in the Babylonian captivity, we followed that God, right? When we was in the Assyrian captivity, we followed that God. Now we're in America, and we follow the God of America, which is Caesar Borgia, which is white Jesus. You get what I'm saying? Which is Christianity, right? So that's why the Lord made that law, because we're dumb as hell. And if you go back into history, you look and see Abraham's family did the same thing. When they went into the land of the Canaanites, they started following the Canaanite gods, right? And so let's read Genesis 12 now. Genesis 12 and 1.
Book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee.
So now the Most High told Abraham to separate from his father, because remember, we just read that his father took him into the land of Canaan, right, along with his wife. But now the Most High, of course, he chose Abraham, and he's telling Abraham, get thee out of thy country, meaning get out of the land that you're in, and from away from your people, right, and from your father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. The Most High is going to take him to a different land, a land that he wants him to be in, right? Verse 2.
Verse 2. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing.
Right, and this is what we got to understand, right? This is what the Lord is telling Abraham, I'm gonna make of you a great nation. We all understand that Abraham is the grandfather of Jacob, which is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? We're that great nation that this is talking about. Not to mention that other great nations also have come out of Abraham, right? The Ishmaelites are a great nation in the sense of power. In the sense of power, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, they're a powerful nation, right? And the Lord also, if you keep reading, the Lord blesses Ishmael too. Gives them a blessing and blesses them to be a great nation of 12 princes. You get what I'm saying? And you can see that today. That whole Middle East is ran by them cats over there. It's ran by them, right? Because they have that power, because the Lord gave them that power. Just like the Most High blessed Esau with the sword. A blessing don't mean nothing. And we're about to read something that a lot of people go to. A lot of people go to the scripture that we're about to read to say that all nations can be saved, right? Because it says a blessing. Let's read it. Verse 3.
And verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. So now a Christian will pull this and say, well, if somebody is willing to serve the Most High will bless them. That's what they say. So because that, because they look at it like that, they think that means that this scripture is talking about everybody can be saved, right? So as long as a white man blesses us and blesses the Most High, he'll get a blessing, which means he can be saved. That's not what this is talking about. Anybody can get a blessing, right? A blessing is just like a favor. That's really what it is, right? So when the Most High blessed Esau with the sword, he didn't do it because he liked him. He did that because they're an instrument of destruction for us. They put here to whoop our ass and get us into shape, right? To make us call on the Lord. But that wasn't because he liked them. Just like the Most High blessed Ishmael. The Most High blessed Ishmael the way he did because he was trying to be, I won't say because he was trying to be fair, because he wanted to. I'll just put you like that. That's what I say, right? I'll be safe with it like that. I don't want to be presumptuous, right? But that blessing doesn't mean that they get saved, right? Because we just read, we can read in the book of Galatians that it says, "In Isaac shall thy seed be called," right? So Isaac is the true, the true possessor of the covenant. Ishmael was his brother, but he got a blessing, but he didn't get the covenant. You get what I mean? So I just wanted to point that out, right? Let me see. So and he also said, "And curse him that curseth thee." What this is talking about is the fact that Abraham is going to have power spiritually, right? Because the Most High cares about Abraham and his children, right? And so because that's the case, just like how we read all of the time, every Sabbath service, how the Most High is a father to us, and he gives a damn about us. And when somebody does something to us in a bad way, in a negative way, the Most High don't like that. He don't like to see that, right? So that's all this is saying, right? If somebody, it's just like if you have a son, right? And you basically, the way you look at your son is, if somebody is good to you, I would be good to them. My son has a good friend, that's then, you know what I'm saying? That's my friend too. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. But if there's some bully running around the playground, pouncing on my son, I'm gonna curse him.
You get what I'm saying? So that's how you want to look at this, right? Keep going.
Right, verse
Middle of 3.
middle 3. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
And so, of course, the Christians will use this too. And these shall all families of the earth be blessed. Remember, a blessing isn't salvation. A blessing is just a favor. That's how you want to look at it, right? And it's true. All nations are going to be blessed because of us. Why is that? Because right now, all nations is cursed because of the white man. Because our oppressor oppresses everybody. They oppress themselves. Kyle Rittenhouse just murdered 2 white people and got away with it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Right.
You get what I mean? So they oppress themselves and they oppress the Arabs, right? They oppress the Africans. They oppress the Chinese. They oppress us, of course. They oppress Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So all nations are cursed under this oppressor. But when we get in rulership, like the scriptures say, when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. And that's the entire earth right now. The entire earth is mourning because our oppressor is in rulership, right? But when the righteous beareth rule, the people rejoice. So when we get our rulership, it's not going to be like this. You get what I'm saying? We're not going to be raping, and pillaging people. It's not what we're doing. You get what I'm saying? Are we going to have servants? Absolutely. But these people are going to love to be our servants because they're going to realize the power of the Most High. And they're going to see what happens to our oppressor, because our oppressor is going to get wiped off of the face of this planet. So everybody that's still remaining, they're going to be glad that they're still here. They're not going to get the same punishment as Esau, right? Let's keep going. Verse 4.
Verse 4. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
So now let's go back to Joshua, the 24th chapter. So now we just saw the Most High, basically take Abraham out of the land of the Canaanites, right? And out of the land of Haran to go to a place that the Most High wants him to go. And now we're going back into Joshua 24. Most High is going to explain it a little bit. Let's get verse 3.
Verse 3. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan.
So like I think I've been saying, I might have got that gender. I think I've been saying that Abraham was before the flood. Did I say that? I think I said that's not true. Abraham is after the flood. I don't know. I'm thinking in my head I might have said that wrong before. I don't know, right? But Abraham was after the flood, right? That's what it means by other side of the flood, right? And led him throughout all the land of Canaan. Go ahead.
And multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac, and gave him and I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau. Right.
So now we see that the Most High, right, led him out of the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him a son named Isaac. Right, the one son that the Most High gives a damn about. If you notice, the Most High doesn't care about any child that's not of the covenant, right? Even when you go to see Abraham being told to sacrifice his son, Isaac, he was told to sacrifice his only son, although he had another son named Ishmael. He had other sons and other daughters, right? Because the only son that matters is Isaac. And so then it says, I gave unto Isaac, Jacob and Esau, right? 2 children. Keep going.
And I gave unto Esau Mount Seir.
And listen, and the Most High gave Esau a blessing. Gave him Mount Seir, gave him a land, right? That's the land that Esau possesses. That's the land of Edom, right? Keep going.
To possess it. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt.
So Esau got Mount Seir, his own land, but Jacob and his children went down into Egypt. We understand what that means, right? When we went into captivity, right? Keep going.
I sent Moses also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt.
Right. Once again, he's calling the remembrance again. Keep going.
According to that which I did among them, and afterward I brought you out.
Right. He destroyed the Egyptians, put the plagues on the Egyptians, and brought us out of that captivity. Keep going.
And I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and ye came unto the sea, and the Egyptians pursued after your fathers with chariots and horsemen unto the Red Sea, And when they cried unto the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them and covered them.
Mm-hmm.
And your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt. And ye dwelt in the wilderness in the wilderness a long season.
Right. So now this is, of course, this is the Most High talking about when he parted the Red Sea. When he parted the Red Sea, and we were able to walk through it. And if you could pull for me Exodus the 15th chapter, we were able to walk through it, and the Egyptian army tried to follow after us, tried to chase after us, right? And the Most High closed up that sea, or made it back to normal, whatever you want to call it. And all of them people died. All of them Egyptians died, right? Let's talk about what happened directly after that, right? We're going to talk about the song that Moses sings in relation to what we just read, right? Because of course this was a big victory for the children of Israel, because the Lord had destroyed the Egyptians that have been, that had them in captivity for 400 years, right? For 430 years, we were in captivity under the Egyptians, and in the snap of a finger by the Most High, we were able to get out, right? So we're gonna read the song that Moses sang in regards to this, right? Exodus 15:1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
Like this is the type of song that you're supposed to sing, right? In your so-called church, right? But this isn't the type of song that you hear in the Christian church. The Christian church, they talk about how they want Jesus to wrap his arms around them. Any nigga that says something like that, that's you might want to do some self-examination, right? You talking about you want a grown man to wrap his arms around you. Wow. That's what they sing in the Christian church. But what Moses saying was a different type of song. He talking about the Most High triumphing gloriously, right? The horse and his rider hath he thrown in the sea. That horse and the rider is the Egyptian army, right?
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 2. The Lord is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my God, and he is my power, and I will prepare him in habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Right.
So the Lord is a man of war, and Yahweh is his name, right? This is what we have to remember, right? When people come at us for saying we too militant, or we too we speak a certain way, or whatever the case, right? They don't like the way that we act. We don't like that, or they don't like that we have
toxic masculinity.
Yeah, they say we got toxic masculinity. The Lord is a man of war, and when we strive to be perfect for the Lord. Right. The Lord doesn't want you to be a punk like a lot of these other cats, man. He don't want you to be a punk. And this is the type of song that we sing. We sing in a song. This is Moses singing a song saying the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name, right? Keep going.
Verse 4. Pharaoh's chariots and his host has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea.
Right.
The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone.
Right. Then Moses is cheerful about this. Moses is absolutely ecstatic that the Most High killed all of these Egyptians. Right. That's the spirit that we gotta have, man. Tomorrow's the Feast of Dedication. We're gonna be ecstatic and remember the death of the Greeks. Right. When we put them Greeks to death and rededicated the temple. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing. Moses is glorying in the triumph over the Egyptians. Tomorrow we're gonna glory over the triumph over the Greeks, right? But let's keep going.
Right. Verse 6. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee.
Against who?
Against thee.
When the Egyptians rose up against the children of Israel, they rose up against the Most High, right? They didn't even give a damn about the Most High. They wasn't concerned about the Most High. They was concerned about us. But this, once again, just like you have a son, if somebody comes up against your son, they messing with you, straight like that. And that's how they came up against the Most High, by coming up against us. And that should make you think twice about what's happening in America, right? That should make you think twice about what's happening here, right? Because America has come up against us. So you see what the Most High did to the Egyptians because they came up against us. You might want to be careful, right? But let's keep going.
Right. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as a stumble.
Right. So that's exactly what happened, right? So now we're gonna go back to Joshua the 24th chapter, and basically today is pretty much just a recap, man. That's really what it is, and that's what this 24th chapter of Joshua is. It's a recap. That's what it is. The Lord is giving you a recap. Once again, this class is called Call to Remembrance. He's just having you call to remember all of the things that He's done for us, and all of the glory that He's got, all of the power that He's shown us, right? So we'll read Joshua the 24th chapter, verses 8 through 14 in the Hebrew. Let me find my spot. Verse 8, Wa'aba'ah, Wa'abayah, Athkam, Al, Aratazah, Ha'amarya, Salaki, Hayawashab, Ba'aibar, Hayaradan, Wayalakam, Wayalakamwa, Athkam, Wa'athan, Awathan, Bayadakam, Wathayarashwa, Ath, Aratazam, Wa'asham Yada, Wa'asham Yadam, Mapan Yakam, verse 9, Wayakwam, Balak, Ban, Tazapawar, Malak, Mawa'aba, Wayalakam, Bayasharala, Wayashalak, Wayakora, Labala'im, Bun, Ba'aiwar, Lakwala, Alkam, verse 10, Wala'ah, Abayatha, it's like Abayathya, Lashamai, Labala'im, Wayabarak, Barawak, Alkam, Wa'atazal, Alkam, Mayadwa, verse 11, Wayatha'ai Barwa, Ath, Hayaradan, Wathaba Awa, Al, Yarayakwa, Wayalak, Mawa, it's like a Wayalakamwa, Bakam, Ba'alya, Yarayakwa, Ha'amarya, Wahapar, Zaya, Waha Kanai, no, it's like a Wakanaanya, Waha, it's like Wahakathya, Wahagarat, Haga, Ragasha, Hakarya, Wahayab, it's like a Wahayab, Wasaya, Wa'athan, Awatham, Bayadakam, verse 12, Wa'ashalak, Lapanyakam, Af, Hatazarai, Wathagarash, Awatham, Mapanyakam, Shanya, Malakya, Ha'amarya, La'ah, Bakarabka, Wala'ah, Bakwashathka, 13, Wa'athan, Lakam, Arataza, Ashar, La'ah, Yagaitha, Baha, Wa'aryum, Ashar, La'a, Banyathum, with the Shabwa, Baham, Karamyum, Wazayath Ashar, La'a, Natai Thumb, Athum, Akalyum, verse 14, Wa'itha, Yarwa, Ath, Yahweh, Wa'ibadwa, Athwa, Bathumyum, Slakim, Waba Amath, Wasayarwa, Ath, Alahayim, Ashar, Ibadka, that's like Ibadwa, Abawathicum, Baibar, Hanahar, Wabamatazarya, it's like Wabamatazarya, Waibarwa, it's like a Waibadwa, Ath, Yahweh. Those verses 8 through 14 in the Hebrew. Now we'll read those in the English.
Book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 8. And I brought you into the land of Amorites, which dwelt on the other side Jordan, and they fought with you, and I gave them into your hand, and ye might possess their land, and I destroyed them from before you.
So now the Most High is also calling us to remember. Give me Numbers the 21st chapter. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwelt on the other side of Jordan. And they fought with you, and I gave them into your hand, right? When we battled against the Amorites, we destroyed them. Now, the Amorites was a great nation, was an absolutely great nation of people, a mighty army that we were not supposed to be able to defeat. But because the Most High was on our side, we were able to defeat them, right? So now let's get that account in Numbers the 21st chapter, right? We'll get that account. So Numbers 21, and we'll start at verse 21.
Book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 21. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into thy vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we be past thy borders.
Right. So now this is what happened, right? So Israel sent messengers, right, unto Sihon, which was the king of the Amorites. And what they was requesting was that we could pass through the land of the Amorites so we could get to where we're going, right? We're not gonna mess with none of their stuff. It's like I said, we're not gonna turn into thy fields or into the vineyards. We won't even drink of the water that y'all got. We're not even gonna use any of your water, right? We're not gonna go through any of your towns, anything. We're gonna go just straight through the highway, right? Which is straight through until we be past thy borders, until we get out of your land, right? Verse 23.
Verse 23. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his borders.
He said no, right? Keep going.
But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel.
Right. So now instead of letting us just pass through peacefully, which is all we wanted to do, they decided to come up against us in battle and fight us, right? Verse 24.
Verse 24. And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Arnon.
Arnon.
Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was strong.
So they came up to fight us and we whipped their ass. That's what happened, right? Because the Lord was with us, right? Keep going.
verse 25. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, and in in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof. For Heshbon was the city of Sion.
Right. So now that's good on that. We can go back to Joshua 24. Right. So once again, all we wanted to do was pass through peaceably, right? And they decided to take up arms against us and fight us, right? But of course, that didn't work, right? We utterly destroyed them, and now we're not just passing through. Now we got little villages up in their land because ain't nobody there no more. We killed everybody there, right? So now we get a little bit of rest and we get to dwell in this land for a little bit, right? So that was the account that the Most High is referring to, right? He was referring like we just read, right? He brought us into the land of the Amorites, which dwelt on the other side of Jordan, and they fought with you. And I gave them into your hand that you might possess their land, and I destroyed them from before you. Right? We got to remember that although the Lord didn't come down and do anything, right? He fought that battle for us, even though we went and whipped their ass with our swords and with our weaponry, right? We only was able to defeat them because the Lord allowed us to. Because we can also see that in other times when the Lord was not on our side, namely, when that brother stole that Babylonian garment, right, and then that silver, right, when he stole those things, when the Lord told him not to touch any of those things, the Lord wasn't with us anymore. And so when we went out to fight, we died. You get what I'm saying? Many of us died. So it just goes to show, right, when the Lord is really dealing with you, you'll win all of your battles, right? Let's get back to 24, Joshua 24 and verse 9.
Verse 9. Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel, and sent and called Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. But I would not hearken unto Balaam. Balaam. Therefore, he blessed you still. Mm-hmm. So I delivered you out of his hand.
Right. Let's get that account. That's Numbers, the 22nd chapter. Right. So we're about to read the story of Balaam, right? And so basically what's happening here, right, is this is going to be directly after what we just read in Numbers, the 21st chapter, where we defeated the Amorites, right? And it said that we were on the borders of Ammon, which Ammon and Moab dwell very close together. If you get a historical map, you can see that, right? So now we're going to see something about this cat Balaam, right? Give me Numbers 22 and verse 10.
Well, good. Numbers chapter 22, verse 10. And Balaam said unto God, Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covered the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure, I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. So now,
this is Balaam speaking to the Most High God, right? And Balaam says unto God, Balak, who is the king of Moab, sent me saying, there's a people that come out of Egypt, talking about the Israelites, and they cover the face of the earth. What this is referring to is the fact that we dominating every goddamn thing, right? We're going into these lands and we slaying everybody, right? Because the Lord was with us. And so Moab ain't like that. What's happening here is Moab is scared. They're scared that they're next because they just saw it happen to the Amorites, right? They could be next.
They heard about Egypt,
right? Everybody heard about Egypt. You get what I'm saying? Right. So we were a nation to be feared at this time. So basically, the king of Moab is trying to get Balaam to sell the Israelites out, right? And basically lead them into a trap to where they could get destroyed, right? And so he's telling the Most High about this. He's telling the Most High that he was approached by the Moabites to basically, set the Israelites up, right? Keep going.
Verse 17.
Verse 12.
It's like verse 12. God said unto, but thou shalt not go with them. Thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed.
Right. So the Moabite king told him to curse the Israelites. But the Most High saying, don't go out with them. Don't try to curse these people because they're blessed. And so the Lord told him, right? Verse 13.
Verse 13. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, get you into your land, for the Lord refuses to give me leave to go with you.
Mm-hmm. So he's telling. So now Balaam, he goes up and he tells the Moabites. He said, "Listen, go back into your land, right? For the Lord refused to give me the leave to go with you, right? I can't go deal with y'all, right? Go ahead."
And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak and said, Balaam refuses to come with us.
Mm-hmm.
And Balak sent yet again princes more and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said unto him, thus said Balak, the son of Zippor, let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming into me. For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatever so thou mayest unto me.
Right. So now
that's
what they. So now this is what it gets niggas every time, right? That promise of riches and glory, right? He said because Balaam he denied. He said, no, I'm not going to do this. The Lord told me I cannot do this. I can't deal with y'all like this, right? Hey, little Christ. Oh, most high Christ. He said, I'm not going to deal with y'all. I'm not going to deal with y'all because the Lord told me that I can't deal with y'all like this, right? But then he got the mighty princes to come up, right? And said that they're going to promote him unto very great honor, right? They're going to exalt him in that land, right? And I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Keep going. Middle of 17.
Verse 17. I pray thee, come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more. Now, therefore, I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say unto me more.
Right. So Balaam, he answered back after this, right? After they told him, listen, I need you to curse this people. I'll give you whatever the hell you want, right? Balaam said, Salaki, he said, if Balak, which is the king of the Moabites, would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Most High, my power, to do less or more, right? So he's sound like he's not budging, right? Sound like he's just gonna do what the Most High says, no matter what. You can offer me whatever the hell, right. And which is what most niggas, most niggas that claim to be in the truth, they say that. They say, listen, it don't matter. You can offer me whatever. Shoot, when it come time for the Edomites to start chopping off our heads for serving God, I just let them have my head. I die for the Lord. But then we also know that in time of adversity, right? Sometimes you don't be that same nigga that was running off at the mouth saying you're gonna do anything for God. Sometimes you don't be that nigga that say, oh, what they did in the Maccabees, I do that same thing. I would be a warrior for the Most High. Sometimes you don't be that nigga in reality. Sometimes you're only that nigga in your brain.
Right. Or if Christ came again, I'll follow Christ, or whatnot. Right.
Right. But if Christ was here, you'd be just like the rest of them niggas, looking at him like he's crazy. Right? Just like that. Right. So we're gonna see if Balaam holds up. If anybody knows the story of Balaam, spoiler alert, he doesn't hold up. right? Let's keep going.
Verse 20. And God came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, shall thou do.
Right. So that's what. So he's basically saying, go with the men. Right. If they call you to come, go with them. But yet, do what I told you to do. Do what I'm going to tell you to do. Right. Keep going.
And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab.
Mm-hmm.
And God's anger was kindled because he went.
Right. So now this is what's happening. Balaam he's now going against the word of the Most High, because now he's going to go curse the Israelites. That's what he's going to do. That's what's in his heart to do. He wants that silver. He wants that gold. So he didn't hold up, right? And so the Most High's anger was kindled because he went. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was riding upon his ass, and his two servants were with him.
Mm-hmm.
And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand.
Right. So now this donkey can see this angel in the spirit world standing with a sword blocking the way. Right. Go ahead.
And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field.
So now this donkey that this brother is riding on, he's riding on a road, right? A little pathway. But when this donkey sees the angel of the Lord with a goddamn sword in his hand, he veers off into onto the side of the road, right? Let's keep going.
And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way.
Right. So now Balaam, he hits the donkey. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's get back on the road, right? Keep going.
But the angel of the Lord stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side, and a wall on that side. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself into the wall and crushed Balaam foot against the wall.
So now this donkey is scared as hell of this angel, which shows you that them white little baby angels that that they be portraying in these churches and in these books. That's not what an angel looks like. Angels are scary as hell. Specifically, this angel had a sword in his hand. You know what I'm saying? Because angels are, there are messenger angels, there's warrior angels, all different types of angels. Angels are built to serve the Most High, which we just read is a man of war, right? And that's what type of angel this is. This angel is this angel is pissed. This angel is the anger of the Lord. That's what this angel is. That's what this angel represents, right? And so that's why the angel is standing in the way. So now this donkey is seeing this angel and is scared to death. And so the angel veer off and run into a wall and crushes Balaam's foot. So of course Balaam's starting to get pissed off. He hit the donkey again. Keep going.
And he smote her again. Verse 26. And the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place where was no way to turn, neither to the right hand or to the left.
So now the angel is now standing in a narrow place where now there's nowhere for this donkey to go. The donkey can see this angel because because the angel is revealing itself to the donkey, but not Balaam. Balaam can't see this thing, right? So what's about to happen is, well, just read it.
And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff.
Right, so he smote the ass with a staff. So now what happened is he's looking at this damn donkey like it's just a dumbass donkey, right? In all reality, what's happening is the donkey can see this angel. So the reason why the donkey fall down under Balaam is because the donkey knows there's nowhere he can go. It's like me traveling directly towards that wall. I can't see the wall, but I'm on a horse, and the horse can see that wall. The horse is going to stop, right? I'm not going to expect the horse to stop because I don't see the wall there. That's exactly what's happening. That angel is that wall, right? And so Balaam's anger was kindled. He got pissed off and he took his staff and he beat the donkey with it, right? Keep going.
And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times?
So now the Most High opens the mouth of this donkey, and now the donkey is speaking directly to Balaam, right? The donkey saying, what the hell wrong with you? What I do to you? Why are you beating me up, right? Keep going.
And Balaam said unto the ass, because thou hast mocked me, and I would there wear a sword in my hand. It's like, and I would there wear a sword in my hand, for now would kill. It's like, for now would I kill thee.
Right. He said, I would there wear a sword in my hand, right? For now I would kill thee. He said, if I had a sword in my hand, I'd just cut your damn throat. Because the donkey pissed him off. I get it. I understand. Right? I got business to take care of, and you keep dropping under me and running me in the walls and crushing my foot. I'm just kill you. You're useless to me, right? But keep going.
Right. And the ass said unto Balaam, am not I thine ass, upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever woke? It's like, was I ever want to do so unto thee? And he said, nay. Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And he bowed down his head and fell flat on his face.
Right. So now the Most High is opening the eyes of Balaam to see this angel. I said he couldn't see the angel before, but now he knows he done did something. Right. Now he knows there's something wrong here. Right. For sake of time, right? For sake of time, this is pretty much the story, right? What ends up happening is Balaam repents. He says that he says, you can read the whole chapter for yourself. In the next 2 chapters, it goes into this a little bit, right? Balaam, he says that he sinned, right? And he basically ends up going over to the Moabite king and basically forcing the Moabite king's hand, saying, nah, the Lord is with these people. Like, I can't work for you, and you should stop what you're doing and basically, serve the Israelites, because the Lord, their God, is a God. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So, like I said, you can read that in Numbers 22 through like 24, right? That's pretty much the whole story with Balaam. Let's get back into this, right? Let's get back to Judges 24. I mean, it's like Joshua 24. All right, verse 11.
Joshua chapter 24, verse 11. And ye went over Jordan and came unto Jericho. And the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites. It's like Amorites. And the Perizzites. It's like Perizzites. And the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Hivites and the
Jebusites.
And I delivered them into your hand, and I sent the hornet before you, which drave me out of, which drave them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow.
Bow, right? So this is what it's talking about. I'm gonna just give you the precept, Exodus 23 and 28, right? What he's referring to is this, right? Exodus 23 and 28 says, and I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. That's just a pestilence that the Most High set, you know what I'm saying, set against all of those nations, so that way the children of Israel could have an advantage in war, right? Imagine you trying to fight a goddamn war and it ain't nothing but hornets coming at you. Not only you got to worry about these crazy niggas with, swords and staffs, but you also got in bow and arrow, but you also got to worry about these damn bugs, these hornets that'll sting your ass to death, right? And everybody know anything about some hornets, you get enough of them stings, you can literally die. You go into anaphylactic shock and die, right? But the Lord did that. He did that to give us an advantage, right? Let's get to verse 13.
Verse 13. And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor, and cities which ye built not, and ye dwell in them. Of the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not, do ye eat.
So now the Lord, he allowed our enemies to build up our land that we reap the benefits of their labor, right?
Right.
That's what happened. When we took the land of the Amorites, that land was already built up with its own well system, own water system, own sewage system. Everything was built up. Houses, gardens, vineyards, olive yards, all of those things. Everything we needed. And we didn't have to do none of it. All we had to do was fight to get in there. And really, the Lord fought for us. So we really didn't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the God that we serve. A God that allowed our enemies to build all of these beautiful cities up, nice and high, and with everything that we need, and then we reap all of the benefits. That sounds like the kingdom of heaven to me, and that's what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. The kingdom of heaven is going to be built by all of our slaves. We're just going to sit back and tell them what to do. Right. That's you read that all throughout the Bible. Isaiah 14, Isaiah 65, right? All throughout the Bible. You get what I'm saying? So that's just like the scriptures say, right? Right, exactly. Right. Right, absolutely. And saying so that was just kind of like an image of things to come. What we just read is an image of things to come, because that's exactly how the kingdom of heaven is going to get built. You know what I'm saying? Some hard labor going into that beautiful kingdom of heaven. Heaven ain't slaving to build things up, right? That's not what heaven is. Heaven is you reaping the benefits of things that are built already. Right, which is what the white man gets to do day in and day out here today. They let Mexicans build their houses and build their skyscrapers, and they get to reap the benefits thereof and live in them. You know what I'm saying? And then they deport. They say, "Get your ass out of here." They eat all of them avocados and picks for 12 cents an hour. You get what I'm saying? They get all of white people love their avocado toast. They reap. Go ahead.
Free labor.
Yeah, it
So
is.
you let them work the field and then deport them. Right. Hey, you know what? I got some Mexicans over here.
They go even as far as the Mexicans. Look in prison.
Right.
Working for 3 cents an hour.
Right.
Prison,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn right. Yeah, that's what we live under. So that's slavery, man. That's slavery. So it's crazy when people try to say we're not slaves in this land, right? All right, let's keep going. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord.
Right. So that's what we got to do, man. That's exactly what we got to do. Right. He's saying now, therefore, fear the Lord, right? Because now he's gone into all of these different stories of the things that he's done to show us his power, right? And going back to Egypt and seeing what the Lord did there, and going back to the battle against the Amorites and seeing what the Lord did there. Going back to when he made that donkey speak and saved Israel from that traitor Balaam, who was going to sell them out to the Moabites. And that would have been it for us, man. The Moabites were a mighty nation, much mightier than us at the time, right? If Balaam had got the drop on us, we'd have been jammed up. And it might not be no Matazar, Parak, or Apayak. It might not be none of us, because they might have just utterly destroyed us because they wanted to, because everybody fears us. Even today, they fear us. Right. That's why you think them old women, clutch their bags when they see us walking up and down the street. Why you think white men want to shoot us so goddamn fast? They don't want to go heads up with us. They think, They think we got. I saw this before we close out. I saw this there's this TV show, right? It's called damn, I can't remember what it's called. It's like based in Compton, right? In like the 1960s or something like that. And it was when Compton was a white neighborhood. If y'all don't know, Compton used to be a white neighborhood, but like straight white. That was it. And there was this black couple that moved in there, right? And of course, they got harassed by every white person on that block in that neighborhood, right? And there's a specific part in the show where there's these three white guys that came over to the brother's house. And the brother's working on the roof, and they come over there with guns, and they're threatening him and all of this, and he's ready to get at it, right? And one of the cats was like, don't shoot him. And he was like, nah, F that. He was like, these people are, those people are stronger than gorillas, right? Like basically saying like we got goddamn super strength, right? So they gotta shoot us. They're not gonna go heads up with us. But the point I'm bringing that out is they fear us, and they know that they're not strong enough to come up against us, right? And so that's the same thing that happened with the Moabites. Same thing that happened with the Amorites. The Amorites feared us, but they were dumb enough to come up against us. And they came up against us because they feared us. Ain't nothing worse than a nigga that's scared of you. Just like how the cat that killed George Floyd, he was scared of him. That's why he killed him. Zimmerman was scared of Trayvon Martin. That's why he killed him. Scared niggas is dangerous, man. They dangerous, and that's what all these nations is. They scared of us, right?
For you to be racist, or yes, it's just really racist. For you to be racist against someone, it has to be someone that's better than you.
Yeah.
Because you would need to be racist or prejudiced. You know what I'm saying, if you were equal to you.
Right.
And if you wouldn't mind me and you start from this line and run there. If we're the same,
Right.
equal. You only want a head start because you feel like I'm stronger than you. That's so called white man.
Right.
Right. Like it's the reason why he treat us the way he do.
God.
Right.
Yeah, I'm right. God. So yeah, but that's the moral of the story for the day, right? Moral of the story is, therefore fear the Most High and serve in sincerity and truth, and put away the gods that your fathers served. Put away all these other gods, man. You got a living God. You have a God that's done all of these things that we just read about you. Or it's like read about for you. Did all of them things for you, and He's done many more in several different accounts in His Bible, right? So that's what you got to do. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and close out. So just me and Karamadio. All right. Everybody else, Imagine, which means to stand. Hayak down, which means to turn and face the east. We'll get these prayers in. All right, beginning with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Awanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shokah, Yahweh, Walakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathalanawa, Lakam, Karyawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawabwathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawabwathinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayanawa, Wanasawan, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalagwa, Waha'alu, Watha Parath, Iwalumium, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. The power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Babu Kushah, Nathanawa, Hakat, Larapa'ah, Kal Maka'alu, Wakal Madawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakat, Lakwayam, Hamathu, Hakat, Awakawa, Hatama'alu, Agarshan, Bashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. The power in the English. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
please give us the power
please give us the
power to heal all manner of sickness
power to heal all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease,
and all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to raise the dead,
the power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean spirits,
and the power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out.
to cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you, so be it.
thank you so be it.
Psalms, the 121st chapter in the Hebrew. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahaharya,
Ahahar,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'yan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Isaiah,
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 Ma'ayim,
Ma'an,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'aratiza,
Wa'aratiza,
Al Yathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Rogal,
Al Yanawam,
Al-Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shemarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yasha'al,
Yasharal,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamar,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazal,
Al Yad,
Al-Yad,
Yamyanka,
Yamika,
Yawamam,
Yawamah,
Hashamash,
Hashemat,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak, Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamar,
Makalrak,
Makara,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Atnapashka,
Atnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazaafka,
Taza'at,
Waba, Wa'aka,
Wa'aka,
Ma'aitha,
Ma'aitha,
Wa'ai,
Wa'ai,
Awalam.
Awalam.
Psalm 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasharallah
he that keepeth Yahweh
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out,
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in,
from this time forth
from this time forth,
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalms, the 83rd chapter in the Hebrew. Allahayim,
Allahayim,
Aldama Yalaka,
Aldama Yalakah,
Al Thakarash,
Alpha Karat,
Wa Al Thashakwat,
Alpha Shaqua,
Al
Al
Kayahana,
Kayahana,
Awayabika,
Awayabika,
Yahama Yawan,
Yahaman,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al Imaka,
Al-Am,
Ariyamwa,
Yaharium,
Sawada,
Sawadah,
Wayatha,
Waratha,
Yaitazawa,
Aitizal,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Altazapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Marwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawat,
Wanakakidam,
Winakakida,
Magalia,
Magali,
Wala'a,
Wala'ah,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasha'al,
Shem Yashua,
Awada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa,
Nawa'aitizal,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakad,
Alyaka,
Ali,
Baryath,
Baryat,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarath,
Ahalya,
Ahali,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashamaalium,
Wayashamali,
Mawa'aba,
Mawa,
Wahagaria,
Wahagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawan,
Waimawan,
Waimalat,
Waimalat,
Palashath,
Palashah,
I'm Yeshavia,
Yeshev,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Gamashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawai,
Gawa,
Labanya Lawat,
Labani Luwa,
Salah,
Salah,
Ashalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadi,
Kasaya,
Kasiyah,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayabya,
Barakal,
Banakal,
Koyashwan,
Koyashma,
Nashamagwa,
Nashamad,
Mayan,
Bayan,
Da'ara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adama,
La'adam,
Sayathamwa,
Shayatamu,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yamuwa,
Kaira,
Kara,
Wakaza'aba,
Kazab,
Wakazabat,
Kazaba,
Wakatazal,
Kazazal,
Mana'ai,
Manai,
Kal,
Kal,
Nasaya,
Nasaya,
Kamwa,
Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amaru,
Learashah,
Arishah,
Lanawa,
Lanau,
Ath,
Ad,
Na'awath,
Nawa,
Alahayo,
Lahai,
Alahayo,
Lahai,
Sayathamwa,
Shayatamu,
Kagogala,
Kagalu,
Kakwash,
Wash,
Lapanya Raka,
Lapanya Waka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Tabaira,
Tabair,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ir,
Wakala Habab,
Wakalaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Haryam,
Bari,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadapma,
Taradam,
Basairaka,
Basair,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapathka,
Wapaka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kualawan,
Kualawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Bakwashwa,
Wakashi,
Shamka, Yahweh,
Yahau,
Yabashwa,
Yabash,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahal,
Ayai,
Ai,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kapar,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abad,
Waya,
Waya,
Da'aiwa,
the Iowa,
Kayatha,
Kayata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahau,
Labadka,
Abad,
Al-Yawan,
Al-Yawan,
Al-Kal,
Al-Qam,
Al-Ratazah.
Al-Razak.
All right, Psalms 83rd chapter in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And that they hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
and let's cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yasharallah
That the name of Yahweh
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom.
and the Ishmaelites,
The Ishmaelites.
of Moab,
Moab.
and Hagarenes,
And Hagarenes.
Gebal,
Gebal.
and Ammon,
Ammon.
and Amalek,
And Amalek.
the Philistines,
The Philistines.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
So also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
That hope of the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah.
do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
as to Sisera,
As to Sisera.
as to Jabin,
As to Jabin.
at the brook of Kassan,
At the brook of Kisan.
which perished that endured.
Which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a rib,
Make their nobles like a red.
and like Zeeb.
And like that.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Abba,
All their princes as above.
and as Amunah,
And as a moon.
who said,
Who said,
Let us take to ourselves
let us say to ourselves,
the houses of Yahweh
the houses of Yahweh.
in possession.
In possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
Stumble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
As the fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name.
That they may see thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame and perish,
Let them be put to shame and perish.
that men may know that thou,
That they may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth.
The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Baruch atah Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Why Ma'aka Allah?
Wa Ma'aka
Why Allah? It's like Why Allah Hayu.
Wa Allah Hayim.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Matazab Yah.
Allah Wap Yahana.
Allah Wap Yahana.
Allah Wapium.
Allah Wap Yah.
Asaranyum.
Asaranyum.
Akwatazayanyu.
Akwatazayanyu.
Akayayayu.
Akayayayu.
Waha Agwatin.
Wa Agwatin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Washem Yahweh Shai.
Wa Hashem Yahshai.
The Wad Aman.
Wa Rahman.
The blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahana.
Commander Yahana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
Captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
So be it.
All right, sorry while you're shopping. We can be seated. Any brothers want their head anointed? Sister, you want your head anointed? Step up. All right, 1 second. All right. Read this prayer. I'll point to you, say your name a few times. Yabaraka Yahweh, Wayashamarka, Ya'ar Yahweh, Pan Yahweh, Alyaka, Wayakanka, Yasha'ar Yahweh, Pan Yahweh, Alyaka, Wayashamlaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barak, Rapah, Magan, Hagan,
Kana,
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 Kana.
Kana, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the Wad Aman, the sister here. All right, what that is in the English is Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, protect, come. All right, with that, we're going to close out the Sabbath service. Men of Israel Majim, which means to stand. We're going to give each other a courtesy salute. Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham. Sorry towards the sister Amadu, which means to stand. All right, get the sister a courtesy salute. Men of Israel Majim Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Lefel, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shabar al Adil by Ashim Yahweh Shai.
I'm sorry, Christ. Yajim Matah. Sabbath service is